gentlemen. Welcome to the Aspire Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyler, with my co-hosts here. We got Kyle, Giggs, Ryan, the regular crew. Ryan, we're going to be talking about some big headlines here. Obviously, this whole week has been headlines, really. So some big headlines, but real quick, I'm just going to go through some of the injuries that happened yesterday to keep an eye on throughout the week here. So the first one is Josh Jacobs. Apparently, it's an ankle sprain. So they weren't sure, maybe high ankle sprain. It looks like it's an ankle sprain. Now, it depends if it's mild or moderate. Chance he plays this week, he said 100% he's going to go. Looked like he was in a lot of pain. Maybe he goes this week, something to keep an eye on. Dalvin Cook, they say he's expected to play. I believe it's also an ankle injury as well. So keep an eye on that. Daniel Jones, I believe they said that he has a chance, but it looks very doubtful. He's probably going to miss some time here. DJ Moore, basically I believe that they have a bye and then they come out and play Denver, I think. And that game looks uncertain, so keep an eye on that throughout the week. Next week, Calvin Ridley, not much. I don't know what's going on with that. They haven't really said anything. Philip Lindsay, possible meniscus tear. So if you have Melvin Gordon, good for you. And possibly George Kittle might come back this week. So keep an eye on that news as well. George Kittle could possibly come back this week. If he's available in your leagues, I would definitely try to pick him up, keep him on your bench. Maybe he comes back. Huge upgrade for you at tight end. And then also, I'm just going to go over this real quick, a couple waiver wire ads, and then we'll get into tonight's game. Well, some big news first, a couple things. But waiver wire ads. Ito Smith, it looks like Todd Gurley might miss multiple weeks. So Ito Smith looked like the better of the two. So he's one. You obviously have Devontae Booker is an obvious one. Alexander Madison, obvious choice. Colin Johnson, I will say this. If Chark misses and Conley miss again, Colin Johnson was the, I guess, beneficiary of Mike Lennon. He had 8 targets, 4 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. So possible if you need some wide receiver help. And then also some tight end or some quarterback streamers, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. A lot of people are going to be down on him, but he plays the Jets this week. So better Phillip Rivers, and then Jordan Reed, Tyler Eifert for possible tight end streamers if you need some. So with that being said, we have some big news as well. The big news is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens are officially moved to Wednesday at 3:40 p.m. Like, what the hell is that bullshit? 3:40. Who the hell is going to tune into that game? Like, what a stupid time. Why did they do that? Does anybody know the reasoning behind that?
Intelligence. They're just super smart people.
Like, what a stupid time. At least make it like prime time, unless there's some scheduling conflict with something else. I don't even know what else would be going on Wednesday. Like, or who's doing it? NBC? What about the Masked Singer? Is that still going on? Do they still have that?
Yeah, that's going.
NBC?
Yeah. That might be.
Is it ABC?
That might be
ABC, I think.
Is it? It's ABC. Sounds right.
Okay. Maybe they got a scheduling conflict with some program NBC runs at nighttime. I have no idea. So, but pretty stupid for sure. And obviously what's really dumb about the whole situation too is that now they move Pittsburgh to Monday night, but then Baltimore to Tuesday night. Like, why do they get the extra day as a Steelers fan? Like, why not just move them both to the Tuesday night? I don't understand that, but hey, whatever. NFL, you're a bunch of – everything is so inconsistent with the NFL, and that's what pisses me off about it, is that you have the Denver Broncos basically get to play without a quarterback throughout this week, and you can say, oh, there's contract or contact tracing, whatever, was all – those guys definitely hung out with people throughout the week. Don't give me that bullshit. Like, it's so stupid. That's why it's like how I look at it, too, is the whole Ray Rice and Ezekiel Elliott thing. Ray Rice literally punches the fuck out of his girlfriend on camera and gets 4 games, whereas Zeke gets 6 games for what? Some inconclusive evidence? The NFL, you're a fucking joke when it comes to this stupid shit. You're so inconsistent. Yeah, they're watching, all right. No, but seriously, isn't that inconsistent as fuck? Like, it's so stupid. I'd be pissed off if I was the Denver Broncos. That's some stupid shit.
The Denver Broncos had 15 hours to prepare for their starting quarterback.
The NFL did the Broncos dirty. And what
They
they did is
did.
they made an example of them. And I understand that the scenario was, yeah, you have all your quarterbacks missing. If it was all your long snappers, they wouldn't make as big of a deal. But you're missing all of your quarterbacks. You can't play a game of football without your quarterbacks. And when you have a ticker come through that says, Royce Freeman starting quarterback for the Broncos tomorrow. Why? Like, that's not even fair. And if you can move a
Right.
game 6 days because it's Steelers and Ravens, two big names, good teams, they're going to the playoffs, but no one gives a shit about the Broncos. Yeah, we'll just chalk that up as a loss. Nobody cares. That's just bullshit, because if it was your team, you'd be pissed. And they're just looking at it as that's the little guy. We can make an example out of them, and then going forward, this is how it is. But this is their scapegoat, and I actually think it's bullshit. All this is happening because we were just told not to be around each other for Thanksgiving, yet they're still having football, right?
They're still playing. Yeah.
So they gotta act like they come down with the hammer here and there. It's like, no, we're serious, but everyone can dap each other up after the game.
Right. It's just a damn joke, and that's if you're a Broncos fan, I feel bad for you because this is a team, they extended the playoffs, they still have a chance to get in. Like, this is a team that has, obviously they're kind of on the outside looking in a little bit, but they're still in playoff contention. And then you throw out a wide receiver playing quarterback. It's like, oh, this guy had no idea he'd be playing quarterback, let alone see a game probably this year. And then it's like, oh, 16 hours before game time, hey, Kendall Hinton, you're the starting quarterback. He's probably like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And just gets thrown into the fucking meat grinder. Thanks, NFL. Hey, great job over there, guys. Great job. Great job. But what a joke. It's just,
It's
I
the
don't even
whole
care as a
league,
Steelers
too.
fan. I'd be.
It's the whole league at this point. I've been seeing it all over Twitter. Except for Browns fans and Ravens fans and some other fans that just hate the Steelers by default and they don't care. But like, I saw a Packers fan respond to a tweet and they're like, "I'm a Packers fan. And the Steelers are getting screwed or whatever." But it's not even about that. It's just like the NFL needs to make a decision on what they're going to do, because you're not now you're not just screwing over the Steelers and the Ravens. Now you're screwing over Washington. And if you move that game again for whatever reason, because this game can't be played at all for the next 2 days, that's going to throw an entire wrench into the rest of the NFL schedule moving forward for the last few weeks. It could screw over teams that are, well, like Washington. They could still win their division.
Yeah.
So, like, it's such a mess right now. And I said it when Tennessee, when that first happened, they need to make an example now and make a decision now on what they're going to do. And forfeiture might have to be an option. And teams should have known that going into this season. And I'm not saying the Steelers are exempt from that either. If they had the same problem the Ravens had right now, I'd be saying the same thing, and it would suck. But like, if you have your entire like starters on both sides, it's literally starters on both sides. You go look at it's like their best players on their roster all have it. Kind of a coincidence. But I don't know. Go ahead and say what you're going to say, and I want to pull up and read this tweet that I thought was ridiculous. I shared it on Twitter.
Well, Hoover just said this in the chat. So the points will be counted if you have players playing in the game on Wednesday. It's going to be counted towards this week. I will say this, like, one more COVID test. What will be funny is that I imagine if they have another COVID test, they're just going to be like, fuck it, we're going to run this game. But one more COVID test really should. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, say tomorrow the Ravens have another player test positive for COVID. What are they going to do at that point? So in my opinion, if I were you guys, if you have any players playing in this game, we've already talked about this on Sunday too. I would not play them. I'm going to give you some players that are going to be available for tonight. I would highly recommend playing those players. Now, if it comes down to dropping one of your a pretty solid bench player, I want to do that, but I would just take them out and just play these guys. David Moore for the Seattle Seahawks,
Yeah.
4% owned. Jalen Reagor, 30% rostered. Alshon Jeffrey, 8% rostered. Even if you have Big Ben, Jalen Hurts right now, 4% rostered. Will Disley, Richard Rodgers, both of them are 4% rostered. I would start him. Zach Ertz is out of this game, so Richard Rodgers isn't really that bad of a play as well. And then also Carlos Hyde is 38% rostered, and Boston Scott is 28% rostered. I wouldn't play any of the Steelers players. Like, there's a chance that this game still doesn't happen on Wednesday, and then at that point, what do? How does this work with your regular leagues? How does this work? Because they're pushing back the waiver wire now as well. So if this game continually gets pushed back, what the hell are they going to do? So I would just play all these players. If you need to win tonight, you're still like down some points, play these players. If you're looking good, don't worry about it. And what were you going to say, Colin?
I don't really know. I don't know. I guess you could necessarily say if it's true or not. It could be kind of a way that you could misconstrue their intentions for the Ravens. But there's just so much shit that I've heard coming out of them and their arguments for the last few weeks. As this is by Dale Lawley, who does all the Steelers press game. He's always liked asking questions and stuff. He's just one of those main Steelers media people. And he said, "Don't tell me the Ravens weren't trying to manipulate public perception on this. Snead, Andrews, Judon all tested positive over the weekend. Ravens waited to put them on COVID list today. Why? So public would see more positive tests, which would mean today there were more tests, so then they could postpone it again." Which I genuinely wouldn't be shocked, because another one of the things that the Ravens apparently were trying to argue was, oh man, I can't even remember what it was, but it hasn't all been COVID. But here's what I just think is funny about this overall is not one bit of concern, and this was on the Pat McAfee show, they said the same thing, not one bit of the concern is this, well, I hope the players will be okay. I hope it doesn't spread. I hope somebody in their family. Like, nobody talks about that. It's all like, well, we'll just move the game a day. Like, nobody gives a shit about these guys actually getting, quote unquote, the most deadly virus like we've ever seen. They just say, well, I hope he can play in 2 days. Like, nobody talks about that. So I think it just goes to show you how the NFL really feels about COVID-19. They don't give a fuck. They just care about their bottom line. And this proves it. This definitely proves it. And so does the Broncos.
Yeah. No, for sure. And there's been a couple other games. I feel like didn't the Bills game get moved back? Bills in Kansas City or something?
Yeah, I think I remember that one.
It was
And
That was like the
Bills
second
and
Monday night
Titans.
game.
Wasn't it Bills and Titans? Wasn't it the
Yeah,
week
maybe Bills and
after,
Titans.
or the week after the
Something like
Steelers?
that.
Yeah, it was the week after the Steelers game.
And I know, there's a game. I know that there are some COVID issues, and
They
there's
played
been
on a
sometimes.
Tuesday. Yeah, they played on Tuesday. Remember? It got moved to
Yeah,
Tuesday.
and it got moved to two. But I know that there's been a couple games throughout the season as well where they were heading into Sunday, and it's like on Saturday somebody tests positive, but the game doesn't get
Patriots.
The
moved.
Patriots, yeah.
Yeah, they still play
And
the game.
Cam Newton didn't fucking play, and they still let them play. Yeah.
And it's like,
But Lamar, oh no.
well, I don't even know if it's
It's
necessarily
not even really.
It's just the
John
inconsistency. That's what the issue is the inconsistency with the NFL. With everything, and it like I said, the whole Ray Rice thing. It shows that the NFL is so damn inconsistent with everything that they fucking do. Is they can never just have something in place. What they should have done is, hey, if you especially if this is the case, you want to wear masks, whatever. You still have teams who can't even fucking wear their masks. Like, if you can't wear your mask, NFL, what they need to do is, hey, guess what? Next, if this happens and you get COVID, your team gets COVID, well, we're not going to move your games. You're going to forfeit the games and you pay the other team's salary. Then I bet all the teams will be like, okay, this shit's for real now. Now we're going to start wearing our masks, because you still have teams that can't even fucking wear masks. Like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. The NFL is so damn inconsistent. It's a joke right now with everything that's going on. And you're right. They don't care about the players. What they care about is making their millions of dollars, which is why I was shocked that game did not happen on Thanksgiving, because they probably lost so much money from that game.
Well, if NBC's probably fucking pissed too.
Maybe.
I would be.
So regardless, thoughts on Will Fuller? Idiot. Hey, maybe that's why he wasn't getting hurt this year, is what I thought. My
Without a
first
doubt.
thought was he's not getting hurt. There's no injuries. Obviously, now it makes sense. The dude was taking some steroids. Like, now it makes sense. So, hey, if you have Will Fuller, you're obviously pretty disappointed, because it comes at the absolute worst time for him. And now Deshaun Watson actually has some tough games coming up as well. So it does not look good. But for Brandon Cook owners out there, it's an upgrade for him for sure. And it comes out at the worst time too, because they just let Kenny Stills go as well. So now you let Kenny Stills go. Now who is going to be their second wide receiver? I mean, you have Kiki Kuti in the slot, but then who's outside? So I think Kiki Kuti is honestly like a decent ad this week, because he's shown before he's somebody that Deshaun Watson relies on a little bit. So I think he's a pretty decent ad this week.
Yeah, and I would probably say Mitch Trubisky, good waiver wire ad this week.
You really think so?
No.
Honestly, well, no. To be honest, though,
For fantasy purposes, he wasn't
fantasy
that bad.
he had the solid. Yeah, and honestly, I think I saw. Yeah.
Oh, it was probably the end of the game, wasn't it?
Didn't he have 3 touchdowns?
He had 3 touchdowns.
It wasn't all at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean it was garbage, but
yeah, but
the
for
garbage
fantasy,
counts.
for fantasy, fuck.
right. And I mean, too, thinking about the matchup too. We all knew this wasn't a great matchup for him. Green Bay, Green Bay has a solid defense. Their secondary solid.
They're
He
the best
has
corner
those.
in the
We talked
league.
about it, but we talked about it last night on the show. He has a really good run of games coming up. And Nagy did say that they're potentially. I mean, he basically said that he's not fully committing to Mitch right now, but he said why would I believe he's not the starter going into the next game? So they get Detroit next. Giggs has a lot to say about Detroit's defense, I'm sure. So yeah, honestly, Trubisky, if you're super desperate or in a super flex, it's not horrible. And if you're in a super flex, I told you the other day too, if you have an open roster spot, add Jalen Hurts and let him sit at the bottom, because I saw today that Jeffrey Lurie gave him the okay to sit Carson Wentz if he plays poorly. So if it happens, his rushing ability gives him a solid floor in fantasy.
And didn't his name Desmond Trufant, right, Giggs? Didn't he leave the game?
Yes, he did.
And they were without Jeffrey Okudah as well. I don't know what's going on with him. So possibly down 2 of their starting cornerbacks. So yeah, Mitchell Trubisky maybe. And also one thing I did say, I didn't like Allen Robinson. He didn't get shadowed last night, so he didn't see shadow coverage from Jair Alexander, which is pretty surprising. They must. I don't know. They just didn't shadow him, so he had a really good game. So I feel bad for all the people I told to sit Allen Robinson because he sees shadow coverage. He did not see shadow coverage last night. So
how many yards? I gotta look that up. I feel like a lot of it. He had a good PPR day and half PPR day because I feel like he caught it a ton. Did he have a ton of yards and obviously the 2 touchdowns?
He had 2 tutties.
Yeah, obviously the 2 tutties helped.
I think he had 74 yards.
Oh, that's still solid.
Right
I didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't break 100 yards, and one was it both garbage time or just one?
I think it was
one.
Game got out of hand.
Yeah, the game got out of hand really fast.
He scored his first one early, I think.
Did he?
I think it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was pretty early.
We made a mistake. Oh well.
It happens. You think Jacobs will be good by next week? He should be. If you don't follow him, the Fantasy Doctor, he has his own YouTube channel. He has 30-some thousand subscribers. He breaks down injuries really short, kind of tells you what he thinks. And he says that as long as it's mild, he'll be okay. If it's more of a moderate, he might try to go, and he's not going to be very effective. So we'll see. But if it's more mild and he's okay to go, chances are he'll be fine for the weekend. Justin Tucker, Chris Boswell, or Jason Myers. Go Jason Myers. We've talked about it. Don't trust this game. Don't trust the Steelers game. So, and Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas, or A.J. Brown, week 13. I did look at the schedules. A.J. Brown plays Cleveland, so I'm definitely playing A.J. Brown. Keenan Allen plays, I'm pretty sure, New England next week. So I don't like that matchup. And Allen Robinson, they play Minnesota. No, they play Detroit. We already talked about it. So, yes, Detroit. Allen Robinson, A.J. Brown. Scary Terry plays Pittsburgh. Could have a big game as well, but I'd rather go A.J. Brown. You can't sit A.J. Brown. Dude's a beast. Return a kickoff. An onside kickoff for a touchdown. Oh, what an animal.
So Pro Football Focus did a poll. who's the best wide receiver in the NFL? Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, which kind of funny that I figured you have to kind of throw Julio in there, I suppose. But who do you think won?
Who were Devontae Adams, Tyreek? Who was the other one?
Tyreek, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones.
Hopkins.
Who do you guys think won?
I mean, my personal opinion would be Devontae Adams.
Same, but I
Spur
bet
of
they
the
have
moment.
Hopkins because of the touchdown this year.
Or short-sighted. I feel like if it happened as Hill was playing, then people could have gone Hill because he had
right. I think that's
game.
Recency
he's
bias.
At 30%. Well, that's the thing. He's at 30%. Devontae Adams 31%, and he won. Hopkins 28%. Julio 10%. Could you imagine if Julio played this weekend when the Falcons blew out the Raiders, and he went off this week and had he probably would have had
I think
whatever. But I'm just saying he would be just as high on that list as Tyreek Hill is if Tyreek Hill didn't have the week he had.
I think I would say Julio's like the second best wide receiver, in my opinion.
When healthy.
When healthy. If I wanted to start a team tomorrow, I wouldn't just because he's 31. But when the dude, peak career, he's unguardable.
But at Tyreek Hill, I'm not picking him if I'm starting a team out of those three options. Even who, I guess maybe over
Devontae
Julio
Adams
at
is
age.
my number one.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams
and Hopkins. I think Hopkins
amazing.
has been one of the best in the league for years.
No, for sure. But Devontae Adams, just that dude is.
He's a superior route runner to everybody in the league.
Everybody.
If you are starting a league over again, who are you taking first out wide receiver? Are you taking Devontae Adams given his age, or are you taking one of the young guys that are pretty good?
Well, I think Devontae Adams. I don't think he's that old, is he?
I'd take.
I know. I was talking like the Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown. AJ Brown, DK.
Maybe AJ Brown.
AJ Brown or DK Metcalf.
AJ Brown.
I agree.
I think AJ Brown.
I thought about that today. I think he's a better all-around wide receiver. I think DK is great, but I think Russell Wilson makes him look even better. Not saying he wouldn't be great on any team, but
DK Metcalf has gone a lot better than last year.
Yeah.
Last year he ran 3 routes, and that was his route tree. He didn't run. This year he's actually getting a little bit better with.
He's just not elusive,
I think AJ Brown is just better.
And he doesn't have that side-to-side agility like AJ. AJ Brown is just one of those guys just all around has it all. He's big like DK. He's strong like him, but I don't know if he's fast.
Who is bigger? Is DK bigger? Because
I think he's taller.
That picture they took that picture together. That's AJ Brown, like the one of them flexing in college. That's
I didn't
AJ
actually
Brown.
see it.
They went to college.
So is he? Who's bigger, DK?
Yeah.
DK's measurables, he'd be considered bigger.
Right.
But you look at AJ Brown, and it's like,
I bet AJ Brown's honestly stronger.
Just like Metcalf. They're both jacked wide receivers.
Right.
So
AJ Brown just has it all, though. He just has it all. I really like AJ Brown.
Should I worry about?
He's a beast.
Oh wait, hold on. MP said some. I have predictions for next week. Chubb gets 125. Who do they? Oh, they play. Who did I just say? Oh, Tennessee. 125 rushing. AJ Brown catches a long bomb. Antonio Gibson 20+ fantasy points against the Steelers. You think so? I don't think so. Woods gets 14 points. Who do they play? I don't know who they play. Do you know? I'm not sure who the Rams play. They play Arizona. They play Arizona. That's who they play. 14+ fantasy points. I could see it possibly. Arizona's been really bad in the slot, so I'd imagine it be like a Cooper Kupp game. But Josh Jacobs gets 20+ points. Yeah, I could see that. They play the Jets. As long as they don't lay an egg again. This for Ryan, Kyle, Tyler. Should I worry about Aaron Jones? No, don't worry about Aaron Jones. Obviously it's not the best that he gets. It basically seems like it's now a timeshare again with Jamal Williams, which is so stupid. I get it. Jamal Williams kind of like a coach's player where he's just he does all the right things, but Aaron Jones is a much better player than he is. But no, I wouldn't be worried. And I did look at his schedule. Aaron Jones has a really, really good schedule coming up where they should be able to run the ball on the rest of the teams they play. Feelings on Miles Sanders tonight. I think Miles Sanders would be okay. I am a little concerned with the Seattle's run defense. They're actually pretty good against the ground. But Miles Sanders, I just think is a stud. Overrated. Pull up a picture of Miles Sanders. If you look that good on a football field, you're not overrated. That dude's one of the better looking guys on the football field with that dark visor on, the baggy sleeves.
Yeah,
that dude looks like a stud.
Cool, you have to be good.
If you look cool,
That's actually a fact.
That
That's
is a fact.
Also, you know what'd be even cooler is if you're watching this and you haven't liked it, please give us a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be really cute.
How sweet is the dark visor though? The dark visors.
It is.
Those are
that Todd
those
Gurley
look good.
thumbnail. That looks sick.
That was a
Hey,
that
like
is
I
a
remember
sick visor.
when I was playing, I was like in a team speak thing with somebody playing a video game a long time ago. They were from Britain, I think, and they were like, I was talking about like, do you ever watch football? You ever hear of it? And they're like, is that the game where they look like robots? And I was like, that is kind of funny. They do kind of like when they have the visor on and they're fully like kitted up. They do look like kind of like robots. In a way.
Hey, you know who never looked cool playing football? Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford sucked as a quarterback. He's out of the league. So that's a key example. That's all we need.
But dude, he drove the same truck for his entire career. He's such a good guy. You gotta give him.
Didn't Kevin Durant do that too? He had like a
Kawhi
like a
Leonard.
Durango. Oh,
No,
Kawhi
maybe
Leonard.
Durant.
I don't think Kevin Durant probably bought a fucking Bentley.
No, I think Kevin Durant did too for a little bit. I don't know if about when he
Actually,
went to Golden State.
He was pretty
he
humble
had like
for
a.
his first few years. Yeah, I'll give him that.
He's not
He
bad.
wear his little backpack. Look like a kid.
He's-
7 foot kid.
It's like a cartoon character.
He's like a
Kawhi
big
Leonard
child.
still drives like a 2002 Grand Am. I'm pretty sure.
Probably does.
Steve Riggy?
I'm a fun guy.
What the sleeves do it for me. The sleeves are sick. I'm not gonna lie. Like part of the reason why I drafted Miles Sanders this year, I wasn't because he also fell to me because of his injury a little bit. That's why partially I drafted him. But I just think Miles Sanders just that his look on the field, man. He looks like a stud out
MP's
there,
got
and
a
you're
good
like,
point,
damn.
though. What's better? What's cooler looking? Miles Sanders the visor or Carson Wentz with camo sleeves? That does look
Carson
sick
Wentz.
with that green. That looks really nice. I agree, MP. That is very. It's honestly, it kind of looks like that emoji you actually used. To be honest, it's a mixture of what it looks
10
like.
10 out of 10 eggplants. Thanks, Hoof. See your eggplant tonight.
Do we get any splashes? Any
Kenyon Drake,
splashes?
Miles Sanders. Yeah, you're nuts if you think Kenyon Drake's better than Miles Sanders.
All right.
Kenyon Drake isn't that bad. but-
Derrick Henry under or over 140 rushing yards this week.
What if it
They
actually
play
is his
Cleveland.
over under? They're like 110.
I'd
think we
imagine
saw
it's
that.
probably going to be
It's gonna be like
Didn't we
80.
see
in the
that
beginning
last
of the
year,
season. In the
Was it
beginning
the
of the
begin-
season, it was 115.
Oh my
for
god,
one
Yeah.
that's actually.
I forget
crazy.
who it was. I feel like it was maybe week 2 or something.
It was a high school.
115.
I got recommended a video today that he went to Yulee High School. It's this little place in Georgia. It's literally like a
Oh wait, hold on.
northeast-
It was week 2 against Jacksonville. That's when it was 115. Keep going.
But he's a pretty humble.
Did he hit the
dude.
over?
No, it made
No,
me
he
like
didn't.
him. Good dude. Go watch his highlights in high school. It was like watching the Little Giants. That big Jack dude that they got, the kid. He was like this big Jack 13-year-old or whatever, and he was like bigger than all the kids on the team. Like that's what it's like watching Derrick Henry in high school. It's just a bunch of little white kids trying to go for his legs, and they just missed by a mile.
Do you
It's
guys think
actually
I
fun.
win? I'm up 35 points. I have Miles Sanders, Jason Myers left. My opponent, Tyler Lockett, Russ Wilson. I'd like to think so, but you never know. Like Russell Wilson could go out there and put a 40 up by himself, and obviously
What kind of
Lockett-
scoring is it?
I
Does
feel
it say
like you
what kind
should
of
be
scoring?
safe.
Harbor, I would
Um,
play Rodgers
no.
or Ebron.
Zeke is probably the best looking RB out there.
And Ron.
Zeke does look good. I will say that. Zeke's got some swag. For
You
sure.
think that is a typo, or you think that's autocorrect?
What?
Harbor 1202. Enron, was that a? I'm curious because you're not the only one that's ever done that. So I'm curious if it autocorrects to Enron if you type in Ebron. which
You
would
guys
be
got it all
hilarious.
wrong. Lev Bell has the most swag out of all the running backs.
He
Lev Bell
has for a
used
long
to. He was a good looking running back.
He's
Yeah,
just
Him and
dripping in
AB.
swag.
he does
Remember
got some.
the Michael Jackson glove? He had that.
AB was He did too. I mean, a lot of the NFL players do, but I just like the baggy sleeves. That does, and then the
Maybe showed up
the
in a
visor, man.
helicopter.
The visor is sweet.
Getting hot.
Should I pick up Eagles, Rodgers, or trust Ebron? I would play Richard Rodgers tonight. There's no Ertz, so that definitely benefits Rodgers. I'm saving those splashes for Ryan when Reagor only gets 11 points this week. What is the score to that game, Ryan? Who's winning?
Well, Montgomery went off. I need 20 from Reagor.
Who has Tyreek Hill?
I wish.
I don't know who has Tyreek Hill. Didn't you have him
Someone-
last year?
No, like a 12 seed's going to beat like a 1 or 2 seed because Tyreek Hill. I forget who it was. It made me smile that someone like at the back end. I don't think it was Utah. I don't remember what seed you are.
No, I'm like 10, but I'm about to put up 130 points and probably still lose. That's just been my year this year. I just can't catch a gosh dang break. Every league I'm in, I just can't catch a break like that. I have some low scoring weeks here and there, but when I have high scoring weeks, the other team outscores me. It's insane. Like I'll never forget that when Darren Waller it was against the Saints this year. He went off. I put up the second most points. I won by 1 point, thankfully, because the dude had Waller Monday night, but like that's just been my luck. I could have easily lost that game. Tyler Lockett or Sanders at flex PPR. Who would you go?
I think
Ryan?
it's a Lockett. I think it's a Tyler Lockett game because DK. I think DK gets shadowed by Slay. Not that Slay is going to shut DK down, but I think he at least slows him down a little bit. So I think this is a Lockett game because the Eagles cornerbacks after Slay are horrible.
Usually those games where the Seahawks absolutely go off, it's usually Tyler Lockett has a 35-point game. Like, not that DK doesn't do anything, but like when they just dominate a team, it's usually just Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett just absolutely shredding them. Kind of like Rodgers and Adams. It's just those like last night.
Right?
Yeah, that meme I made was pretty good on Twitter.
You should have seen Kyler's face when Kenny got the 1 yard TD. He was pissed. He was pissed he couldn't steal it. I'm sure he was a little salty because I'm pretty sure they went. Maybe it was on the second rush touchdown. They went like heavy, so he couldn't get in shotgun and run it around the edge. Full PPR. So that was full PPR. Which was that? Okay. So Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Russ. Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett. I feel like you should be okay, but
it's going to be close. I think
it might be close. But you also have Jason Myers, so that definitely helps out as well, along with Miles Sanders. I feel like you should win. I'd say it's like about 75%, honestly. I think you should win. But if Russell Wilson goes off, good chance Tyler Lockett goes off. But you should win. Yes, it does. Antonio Gibson does have some swag as well. But none nearly as much as Miles Sanders, Zeke. Tyreek made me lose this week. He probably made so many people lose.
Whoa, wait. You're forgetting about Alvin Kamara.
Oh, Kamara, yes. He does have some swag, too. A
lot
lot
of
of the running
swag.
backs do, except James Conner. He's just like your average.
Apparently, I think it was... I can't think of what his name was, or which one it was. It was somebody on the Steelers. It was Stephon Tuitt, I'm pretty sure, said that cornerbacks are apparently the biggest like prima donnas in the NFL. They're the ones who are like, they all talk like this.
Corners and wide receivers.
Yeah,
baby.
he said like they're always worried about their hairline and their beard line and all that shit and how they look. Shoes, they're the ones that always got like the shoes.
The shoes are sick.
But if you think
they
about
get
it,
their
corners I mean, they all do that. They always got to be showboating when they don't do anything.
A ball gets thrown 10 yards over their head.
Over their head.
Also, there was I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was a funny tweet of like whenever the defensive players cause a turnover,
And
they
all
like
run to
run
the
to
It was
the opposite
Barstool.
side of the field.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, dude. Like, you got to do that every time.
You're talking
I
about the
don't
one where the people get released from the gates or whatever, and there's just like a stampede of people. Yeah.
Where
That's
do those pictures or that camera that they all run to? What is that for?
I think it was for
Like, is that
this year.
Is that like
for-
an NFL Is that like an NFL camera that they're eventually using to sell like the pictures for?
I think they did it for COVID this year because there's no fans, and then there's like a screen in front of it too. There's a TV so they can see themselves in the camera too.
Okay.
I think cool if it stayed. I think
it's for the family picture thing because they know that like all the defenses like to do that, and the Steelers originated it. No, I'm just kidding. I think there was a huge.
I don't even know who did it.
Yeah, somebody apparently did it before the Steelers, and there was like a fight between which somebody probably did it way before whoever claimed they did it before the Steelers. I'm sure teams have been doing it for decades.
Well, Darius slays shadows, so he will probably follow Metcalf on the outside tonight, and Lockett's going to shred from the slot, probably. Philly's defense is still Swiss cheese. Nick Chubb swag, yes. Nick Chubb and James Conner, like those are the two guys. They're just like the dad running backs. They don't have anything else. They're just going out there and their equipment, and that's about it. They don't get all dolled up or anything.
There's
I don't think. Does Kareem Hunt? I don't even think Kareem Hunt really does.
What's the defensive end for the Saints? That white guy? He doesn't even wear gloves. He's one of those guys.
I feel like James Conner doesn't wear gloves sometimes.
He looks like he's a long snapper, but he's a beast. He's one of the leading in sacks right now for the Saints, I'm pretty sure.
How many points do you guys think Miles Sanders will get tonight? PPR league.
Probably not leading, but
what do you think, Ryan? He'll probably catch a couple passes.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's full PPR, if it's full PPR, I'll go like
he is
9. I'll go 19. I'm not going to break it down. That's just roughly thinking about.
I was going to say
league. I feel like
if it's full PPR, yeah. It depends. I mean, hopefully he scores. I feel like if he doesn't score in a full PPR league, it'll probably be around I'd say 11 points, 12 points. Hopefully he gets a touchdown.
Yeah.
I was going to say he'll hit 20 if he gets a touchdown in a full PPR.
I'll be around there. How many points? Oh, sorry. I already. Does Seattle cover the spread? What do you think, Giggs?
I think they do. And
what is the spread at right now?
Last time
it was
I
like
checked,
6.5.
Yeah. So if they're really going to sprinkle in some hurts, I don't think they're going to cover. I think this is a great matchup for them to just stick with Wentz and see where the team really is, and then they can make that decision going forward because they have a bunch of tough games going forward. This is a very bad secondary. This could be a spot where Carson Wentz gets some confidence moving forward for the gauntlet they have to go through because they're playing for the playoffs. This is his biggest game of the year, in my opinion, and you can't take snaps away from him now, right? This should be a get right game for him. And I don't know if they're bringing in the second string, third string quarterback, it's going to shoot his confidence. He's going to suck because he played at MVP caliber football in 2017. If he didn't get hurt, he was MVP that year without a doubt. No one would argue that. So what he's capable of. They're trying to get that again. I don't think he has a shit ton of weapons, which isn't helping his case. But tonight's the night where you got to let him loose, let him sling the ball, and see where you are at as a team.
Yeah, I saw a report that he actually called Brian Flores and asked him what he should do.
What are you talking about? Is that a joke?
You're retarded.
I don't know who Brian Flores is.
The Dolphins.
The coach.
Oh, the Dolphins coach.
Do you watch the NFL? Yeah. No, but
I forgot.
Look at the
I thought his name was Flores.
Imagine this boy coming at you. Wouldn't you think this is a long snapper?
I already saw you put him up.
He has 9.5 sacks this year. He's good. That's what's so
reshuffling on the Eagles offensive line. There's reshuffling on the Eagles offensive line though. Jason Peters, he's looked honestly. I love Jason Peters, and I love the whole transition from tight end to left tackle because honestly he was a very good offensive lineman, but he's past that now. So the switch to right guard and moving over a younger guy to left tackle, watch how that goes. I think it's a good move for the Eagles line, but Giggs, I've been fighting the Carson Wentz fight for so long and reliving that year that he should have been the MVP, but it's just not there this year. So I just have I don't have the confidence that some people do in him. And even when he's got weapons back and he still, it's just I don't know. I think almost a benching at some point during this game could help him and just like settle him down and just like I think I want it to happen tonight.
But wasn't him getting hurt though kind of like the nature of the beast, because he was running a lot too, and he tore his ACL.
He's a guy who takes risks.
That was a
Right.
That's
that was a
what it
freak
comes
hit.
down
Yeah,
to.
no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of what I feel like has created this version of him. Is now he's probably part of him's afraid, and he can't play a version of the game that he really used to. Because I'm sure the Eagles don't even want to risk it at this point, or even I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't game plan that way anymore either. Do you feel like he rolls out or tries to get out of the pocket?
They need to get him rolling out more. They need to get him out of the pocket more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like maybe that's the issue, is they've strayed away from his strengths from that year, whatever they were.
Yeah, it's play. A lot of it's play calling and play design, and like Carson Wentz, he could be having a much better season if they had like. So they don't have an offensive coordinator anymore. They have a run game coordinator and a passing game coordinator, and the best year Carson Wentz has had is when he had Reich and D Filippo out there, and both those guys are gone. Peterson's calling the plays. It's been a mess. Like Peterson, I like him as a head coach, but he's one of those player coaches where you like him there. Like I feel like Tomlin's the same. Like there's a decent amount of coaches where the players just love them, and like they're one of those. Oh, I'll go to bat for my coach any day of the week, and then like they're great like that, but they shouldn't have the duties that Doug Peterson has.
I love when bath with my coach.
Yeah, they love to take baths with their coach.
That's how you know you got
shower time. Yeah, shower time's great after the game, after a good win. But no, I like him more as a player coach, and I just wish he didn't have all the responsibilities he'd had calling plays and everything like that. Because I think at this point it's hurting.
Carlson, I would start Herbert. And I
No.
What,
No.
Really?
I'd go Lamar.
Oh my God.
Lamar plays Dallas, dude.
They're gonna get crushed. Dallas
Lamar plays Dallas.
Play Lamar Jackson.
No,
Herbert
I
plays
keep thinking
New England.
that for some reason.
Say what you want. I don't think
keep
New England's
thinking-
defense is that good, but still, I think
I keep
they'll
thinking
be
that
decent.
the Steelers-Ravens game is going into Week 13 for some reason. I saw somebody talk about it. Now I keep thinking it's going to happen. That's why I said.
Yeah, it all depends. It's really hard to say right now, just because it's really early in the week, and then you also have to see if he's still. I think he tested positive for COVID, right?
That's what I thought.
Lamar?
I was also going to say drop Derek Carr and Taysom Hill.
Well, I don't. He
If
might
they're
not
on your
have them on
roster.
his team.
Yeah,
He
if
might.
they're on your roster.
Taysom Hill's not that bad of a play either. Like he sucks, but he's gonna get possibly another rushing touchdown, and plays Atlanta. So there's that too. I mean,
guess, yeah. But Atlanta doesn't look as bad as they did in the beginning of the season.
no, they don't. But they're still a pass funnel where they're not that bad defensively, like against the run. Like right now, Atlanta's giving up less than 100 more yards than Pittsburgh Steelers are on the ground this year. So like their rush defense is actually very good. I forget what his name is.
Yeah.
What is his name? Their defensive lineman, Garrett. Grady Garrett, is that his first name?
Grady Jarrett.
Jarrett, yeah. So he's good run stopper in the middle there. But what were you guys? Oh, you're talking about. Well, I'll say this. You know, Carson Wentz has not looked good this year. He's just not. Like when you watch him, when I've watched him, he holds on the ball too long. But it could also be because of his wide receivers, like you say. Like he's played with a shit crew this year. Like in Fulgham was somebody that everybody was high on, and then I mean, where does that dude go to school? He was a nobody, and then the Eagles.
Dominion. Put some respect on Old Dominion's name.
I mean, let's be for real. Let's call it for what it is.
Alshon Jeffrey.
But we'll see.
Is a
I'll say this.
nobody.
Be careful what you wish for, Philly fans, because yes, you may be all like, oh, Jalen Hurts, and then Jalen Hurts could go out there and shit the bed as well. And Carson Wentz goes somewhere else and he revitalizes his career. Maybe that's what needs to happen.
I mean,
All
look,
I'm saying
that's what's
is
happening in
careful what you
Dallas
wish
right
for.
now. Andy Dalton's taking that.
I was
starting
hoping last year, I remember, and this is why I'll never say it again. Last year, Seattle game, Pittsburgh. Big Ben was playing like shit. I looked over to Kirsty. I was like, I wish he'd fucking get hurt so we can see what we got going forward. And he made me eat my fucking words because I had to watch Mason Rudolph and duck Hodges for the rest of the year. And my God, it was awful. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is anywhere near those players because those players don't even deserve to be on a roster. But at the same time, be careful what you wish for is all I'm saying.
It is crazy the amount of anxiety I had last year watching the Steelers versus now it is tenfold every week because now, especially now, it's just like I don't know what to expect. But no, fuck, there was something I was gonna say before you brought that up. Now I can't remember what it is. But go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I'm gonna try to think.
Well, I was gonna say this as well. Like, you don't want to also run into this bullshit thing that the Dolphins have backed themselves into a corner with as well. Like kind of what Giggs was saying with the confidence thing. Like, what do you think's going on with Tua right now? I mean, now you win and you have Brian Flores saying, "Oh, Tua's going to be our starter when he's healthy." And then what happens if he has a bad game? Are you going to pull him again? Like, this whole thing, you got to be careful because you destroy quarterback's confidence. What if Jalen Hurts goes out there and he plays worse than Wentz? Then what? Do you go back to Wentz? So you got to be very careful.
That's exactly what I'm like. For me, I'm looking at best case scenario, worst case scenario. There's really no best case. The best case scenario, if you go with Jalen, is he wins you the game and it's like, this is the guy we're going with. We found our new quarterback. We're going to free up all this money. We're not going to keep Wentz. We're going to do all these things. This is the new future for the Eagles. Let's be reinvigorated, right? I doubt any true Eagles fan thinks that Jalen's going to be the guy. I think he was a reach in the draft. I do think he's a talented quarterback in a sense that he knows how to run an offense. He can take a hit. He knows how to scramble. He's a good RPO kind of guy, but he doesn't make the throws that Carson Wentz can make. Now, Carson Wentz as of late, he hasn't been great, but if you can get 2017 Carson Wentz again, if you could somehow like get that magic again, and maybe a big game tonight could be a way to get Carson Wentz confident again, maybe get this team confident again, because it's still a winnable division. It's anyone's division right now. You can make the playoffs. We all know what they've done the past couple of years. They're still a solid team. There's just no glue guy. Carson Wentz needs to be the glue guy. He needs to have a big game tonight. So best case scenario, Carson Wentz has a big game tonight. Now maybe you can make some noise in the playoffs and people can laugh at the record. But if you know Carson Wentz is playing at 2017 Carson Wentz, you have a chance. And that's why I think it's important that they go with Carson Wentz tonight, especially in an easy, juicy matchup for him.
You want to know why?
Hold on. I want to answer a couple questions in the chat real quick. Guys, first touchdown scorer tonight. I like Metcalf and Richard Rodgers. I do like Richard Rodgers tonight just because Ertz is out, and I also think he has like crazy odds. So if you want to go with somebody who you want to throw like say $2 on, I think it's like $2 over on Bet Rivers, and you can win like $40. So I mean, throw $5 on there, and you get, I think it's like 500 or something. I think it's like, yeah, it's 500. So, or not 500, 200. Sorry. So, yeah, I do think he's a good one. And then on the other side, Metcalf is an obvious choice. Who did we like? Oh, if you want to get maybe throw a couple dollars on just because the odds is Will Dissly is kind of who we were talking about. I guess we'll go with this real quick. Do this, and then we'll also Dolphins defense or Ravens defense. I don't know who the Dolphins are playing, but I'd probably go the Oh, they're playing the Bengals. Oh, that's tough. Who would you guys go with? The Bengals defense, or not the Bengals? The Ravens defense against Cowboys, or Miami's defense against the Bengals?
Miami.
I might go Miami as well. I'd probably go Miami, but it is close because I think the Ravens, Andy Dalton looked like shit.
I think
You
this.
think he looked any good against Washington?
Oh,
fuck,
like
dude!
I keep thinking we're talking about the fucking Steelers game. This whole thing has got me through a loop, man. Yeah, no, I agree then. Yeah, fuck, that's a good point.
It's close. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I'd probably pick Miami just because their secondary is really good. So, real quick, let's do touchdown scores, and then you can. Who are your top 10 RBs? We'll do that in a minute. We'll do first touchdown scores real quick. Mine, I'm gonna say mine. Now I'm gonna make a couple just because if you want to get a little, I would just advise throwing a couple dollars on Richard Rodgers tonight because I do think that there's a decent chance he could score first. I want to be that surprised. but then on like for sure on the other side, I'd probably go with like DK Metcalf. No, I'll go Tyler Lockett because I do like his matchup better than DK's. But also on that side as well, throw like $1 on Will Dissly because I do think Will Dissly has a chance to be decent going forward, season long, just because he had this chance last year and was pretty good until he got hurt. So, whoever wants to go next for first touchdown scorer.
I can go first. I like Lockett. I think that's what you just said was Lockett. His matchup, DK is going to get, I think, a lot of Darius Slay, and I still think DK has a solid game, but I think it's a Lockett game, and that's been, I think I mentioned that. But and then on the other side, I like Reagor. Reagor's odds are still pretty far out there because he's only had 1 touchdown in the year, but he's also been hurt for a bit, and I think he's getting worked in the offense a lot more. So I'm going to go Reagor on the other side.
Carson, we might do one before the game on Wednesday. No, we won't because it's at 3 whatever. I mean, unless Tyler, if you want to do one. But usually it's weekly Monday, Thursday, Sunday before from 10:30 to 1 p.m. At kickoff, and then another one at 7 o'clock before prime time. Giggs, go ahead if you have your touchdown scores.
Real quick, I'm up 41 against Claypool and Wilson. I think it's gonna be close. I think you should win for sure. I'd feel pretty good about it, but yeah, go ahead, Giggs.
Yeah, so today I'm doing this without looking at the odds first, so it's not a biased pick because I'm all about them juiced odds. I want all the money. But tonight I'm going to go with Miles Sanders as my first touchdown for Eagles, and I'm going to go Chris Carson first touchdown for Seattle. I actually think Chris Carson has a decent game tonight coming back from injury. I feel like they really took their time with him. And he's just a great goal line back. So I'm fairly confident in him scoring a touchdown as well. So he's my favorite anytime touchdown bet as well.
And Kyle, do you have yours?
No, I haven't looked at it. Or well, yeah, I did look at it for a second. I just thought I don't know if I'm gonna just do random ones that you guys obviously haven't done. I just thought Dallas Goedert. I just feel like I think Philly's gonna score first in this game. They're gonna want to set a statement early, but I think it's just they might score early, but it'll get away from them later in the game anyway, so it won't really matter. But I do see Philly maybe getting some going a little bit early, Goddard getting it. But if that's not the case, yeah, I could see Chris Carson too because we did say the other day we're gonna try not to be as we're not as confident about people when they're coming off an injury. We at least want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they could just go out there and go full production.
After this week, I'm not buying any bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they did say like an hour or so before the game actually happened for Austin Eckler, they expected a big workload for him. But prior to that, the expectation was he wasn't going to see a big workload. So, I mean, my gosh, why do they got to go back and forth? Just tell us what we need to know, us fantasy people. I mean, for shit's sakes,
yeah,
gosh.
Like, who gives a shit about their bottom line? It's about fantasy.
Gosh. Let's talk about, well, real quick, because MPS, the top 10 running backs. So are you saying top 10 running backs just like skill-wise in the NFL or top 10 running backs in terms of scoring? Let us know. Yes, we go live before each game. Maybe we'll go live because I'll be available, Kyle, on Wednesday if you want to try it. Well, let's try it. We'll see what happens. Maybe we can get some Steelers fans in here. It'll be a Steelers show. There we go. Talk about some
people
Steelers
working
stuff.
from home tuning in. Tons of people want to join.
They'll be like, hell yeah, dude.
Certain states might be locked down by then. Who knows? No.
You think Lamar will be good by next week? I do think Lamar will. Well, I guess we'll see. I don't know what the actual timeline is, like how long he actually has to be out for before he can test like negative and then come back. I don't know what it actually is.
This is what I was gonna say earlier when I forgot. You know why Big Ben's arm fell off? I was looking at his attempts and completions. So 2016, which he only played 14 games this year with Michael Vick. 328 completions, 509 attempts, which is pretty standard. I didn't look at the other quarterbacks in the league that year, but honestly, it's probably up there, but it's probably not the most. 2017, he played 15 games, so he only missed one. 561 attempts, 360 completions. 2018, the year he had 5,129 passing yards, he had 675 attempts that year. 675 attempts.
That's a lot.
That's almost 40 more than Andrew Luck that year. That's almost 100 more than Patrick Mahomes that year. So he
That is a lot
literally
of
threw
passing.
his elbow off that year.
Oh man, that's pretty crazy. Who do we like MVP wise on DraftKings? Yes, I was looking at this. Somebody that I do like, I do agree with Giggs and Kyle. I'm sure Ryan kind of agrees with this as well. But I do think Chris Carson might be 13,200 on DraftKings. So I do like his value as a captain. Obviously, if you want to try to pay up for Russell Wilson or one of those guys, sure. But I also think he's a pretty solid play at his price point. And then also somebody else that I do like is also Miles Sanders. He's right there at 13,800. And then some guys that you could probably get in the flex area that I think are cheaper. One person is Will Dissly. We kind of talked about him. He's on the cheaper price range. So if you want to go, obviously try to get like, say, Russell Wilson in your lineup, that's somebody that you could pay down towards, or Richard Rodgers as well. He's only 1,800 as a flex play as well. So I think he's a pretty solid cheap guy. So that way you can get your higher price guys like Russell Wilson in your lineup as well. So a couple guys there. I wouldn't really, maybe Boston Scott, maybe a little bit at 1,000. Just needs to beat out that, which I feel like is doable. So other than that, those are like the three cheap guys that I would really consider for tonight. And then obviously you want to pick whatever stud you think is going to go off. Me personally, we've kind of talked about it. Tyler Lockett, I do think Tyler Lockett's good. I would definitely play Russ as well. Try to get Wentz in there, and then try to have one of those guys for your captain. So, yes. What about who wins? Let's do that. Let's do our predictions. I'm going to say, I'll go ahead and start it off. I will say the Eagles upset him. I think the Eagles upset him. I think Carson Wentz comes out tonight and he's like, hey, Doug Peterson, I see you want to play Jalen Hurts a little bit more tonight. Hey, look at me, buddy. Goes out there and balls out tonight. Also, I don't think that Seattle's a very good team, but also their defense is pretty terrible. They don't get pressure on the quarterback. Their secondary is awful. Like this is not a good defense by any means. So I think they can be effective as long as Carson Wentz has good decision making, his internal clock's working, and that's a lot of hopes there. But hopefully that's the case. He goes out there, balls out tonight. I'm going to say 32-28 Philadelphia tonight.
I'm going to go 31-24 Seahawks.
What? No faith. No faith in your Eagles?
I watch them every week. I can't have faith.
You just want to say they don't win, and then when they win, you're happy. You'd be like, oh, I didn't even expect.
I don't know at this point. If I want them to win.
Yeah, true. Because what was the thing, Giggs, you said about Washington, maybe? Or did somebody say
they
that?
went from having the 5th overall pick to the 19th overall pick because they won on Thanksgiving for every round.
I do just want to say that the views and opinions expressed on the Aspire Sports Show do not necessarily respect or reflect the views of the Aspire Sports Show. So any stupid thing said about the Eagles winning is not reflective of all of our opinions, okay?
We'll see. And then you guys will look like...
Well, all I got to say is if Chris Carson goes off tonight, the Eagles don't have a shot.
Oh, it's raining hard? I knew it was going to rain. Well, I thought the rain was going to cut off.
It said the rain was stopping. It went to 15%. 15% at 8 o'clock. So if it's raining there...
Leave it to Ryan to believe in meteorologists.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if it's raining hard right now, because I honestly don't have the pregame up right now. If it is raining hard right now, I'll still take the Eagles, but I'll lower my pick. What is it right now? What is the over/under?
It
46.
was 48.5.
49.
Earlier, it was 48.
Kyle
49.
said he would live stream him eating his own shit if the Eagles win by 24 points tonight.
Yeah, I did say that.
Kyle said that.
Well, come on, Eagles. Then I will say this: the Eagles. I'll say this final score
I
is
actually was gonna make
24 to 21. Eagles. Actually, I'll say 24 to 22.
I think the Seahawks are gonna stomp them. I think it's gonna be 35 to 10.
35 to 10.
35 to 10. Okay, so like I said,
Okay, if it's
he's
if it's
got a
raining
minus
that
24.
Bad, if it's raining that bad though, maybe not that high. I would say like realistically 10 to 24 or something like that, but or 24 to 10.
That's not as bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Seattle's used to playing in the rain. It rains there all the time.
Right.
I'm going to say Seattle 28, Eagles 24.
Come on, Eagles. I believe in you. Let's do this. Come on, Carson. You want Trevor Lawrence? Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles defense isn't bad as Seattle's defense. Yeah, honestly, the Eagles do have they have an okay secondary with Darius Slay out there. And Ryan says the other cornerbacks are complete shit. I'd rather have some other cornerbacks on their team than some of these other cornerbacks on, say, the Bengals. Not saying much, but it's saying something. Also, their defensive line's really good. They have one of the better defensive liners in the NFL. So.
Work on my nerves, buddy.
Yeah, they got ex-Steeler Javon Hargrave, one of the best in the league.
Jay Wobble.
You'll probably hear. Hey, don't worry. You'll probably hear Javon Hargrave's name like twice tonight, tops.
He's gonna
Why?
go
He
off.
hasn't been doing that good this year for the Eagles?
No, he hasn't.
It's probably not a good
That's
scheme
okay,
for him.
because Steelers got Tyson.
They rotate their guys. They
That too.
rotate their guys a lot. To that causes some of that, but the Eagles have one of the. I think it is probably the highest paid defensive line, and you,
Probably is.
you,
After
you should be
getting
seeing
him.
more of them. And they have Malik Jackson.
So they do have a better defense than Seattle. Seattle's trash. I mean, you got Bobby Wagner. Everybody loves Jamal Adams, but that dude sucks in coverage. I'll tell you what. He's one of the worst rated safeties in the league in terms of coverage. So he gives up a ton of yards in coverage.
Jamal Adams? Is that what you're
Yeah. He's not bad at like close to the line. He's a good like he's able to come down in the box and he's good in the box, but in terms of coverage he struggles.
I think it was like
this
week
year mightily.
4 or 5 he was leading the Seahawks in pressures with 8.
Yeah, he's a good blitzer as well.
But that just goes to show you how terrible their pass rush
Their
was. before they
their
got
pass
done
rush is one of the worst. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check this. Go ahead and talk for a minute. I'm gonna just
If you guys have any other questions,
how many
please ask us.
turnovers do you think how many turnovers? Basically, how many turnovers for Wentz tonight, Ryan? I'll ask that question.
2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
I say
How
The
many
season
total?
low of 2. No, I'm just kidding.
What about you? Who saed that?
I said a season low of 2, but I was just kidding.
Is that a season low?
I'm kidding.
Probably is.
It might be. No, I'm sure he's had 1 at some point.
I think that it's gonna be 3. I think Wentz is gonna have 3. I mean, I think he's gonna have 2 picks and a fumble, and then it's gonna be
right now
Hurts time.
Seattle is tied for the second lowest pressure rate in the NFL, and then they are they're like bottom half in terms of sack conversion. So pressure rate, they are tied for the second lowest. So they don't get pressure on the quarterback. How many turnovers? So how many turnovers do you think, Giggs, tonight total in the game?
Total, I'm going to go with 4.
I was going to say 4 too. I think 4 is a good number. I think 4 total in the game. Fumbles, interceptions, I think 4 totals. Philly front 7 is top 10 in the league. It's just their secondary softer than mashed potatoes. Well, would you say the front 7? I thought you said that they don't have good middle linebackers.
Their
They got
linebackers
LJ
are
Ford, dude.
bad.
Is that
I
who
think
their
he plays
starting
special
linebacker
teams.
is?
No. They have young guys like Sean Bradley, who like you're hoping for more from. They drafted a guy in the 3rd round who's literally seen the field only in special teams. So riddle me that one, which I was actually excited for him. Davion Taylor, he's been horrible. Alex Singleton, we talked about. I remember talking about him the last time the Eagles had a primetime game. Was like the long hair guy. He's actually, I like him because he makes some plays every once in a while, but at the same time, like I know he's actually not that good of a linebacker, but their linebackers are not good. They're not.
Duke Riley.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of Duke Riley.
Oh man, I guess Maddox has been terrible in coverage this year. Oh my god, I didn't realize he was that bad.
Yeah, I liked him when he was a safety, but they moved Jalen Mills back to safety.
And Roby Coleman has not been good either.
No, which that was supposed to be like B-side. Like they didn't pay him that much, but
he was good in prior years. Yeah. Okay, maybe they haven't been as good as I thought. They have good players. It's good players back there. It's just, and they have Rodney McLeod as well. He's.
I like him. Yeah.
I don't know if he's been playing that well this year. I haven't followed the Eagles defense that much because they're not good. So, Singleton was very nice filling, and Brandon Graham is absolute freak.
Brandon Graham is really underrated. He was like a draft bust for a few years there, where the Eagles they weren't getting a ton from him. But he's at this point, I think Brandon Graham's probably better than Fletcher Cox at this point.
It's because he plays for a not flashy team. He's not a flashy player, and he doesn't get that media attention, so people don't really know about him. But I've known about him for a couple of years, and I've always thought he was really good.
MP just dropped Mark Andrews for Carson Wentz. Wentz about to have 3 tutties tonight. I'm telling you, Wentz is going to go out there and he's gonna ball out tonight. He's going to crush it tonight, and they're going to win because of Wentz. And then everybody's going to shut up about this Jalen Hurts bullshit.
Yeah,
one
game, Carson Wentz redeems himself for how fucking terrible they've been.
Will they be leading the division then if they win?
No.
Yeah, I think they will.
They honestly could be.
4-6-1. Yeah,
either tied or leading.
No, they had a tie, so they'll be in. I'm pretty sure they'll be in the lead. 4-6.
The Cowboys.
Yeah, because they have one less loss.
If they would have won on Thanksgiving, they'd be leading.
It's a beautiful time in the NFL. I'll tell you what. I remember the year that it was the Seahawks and the Rams that year. Who ended up going? Was it Seattle?
Seahawks. Yeah.
Charlie Whitehurst, wasn't that who was their quarterback at the time? I think it was Charlie Whitehurst and Sam Bradford. It was 7-9, and they beat the Saints, didn't they, that year? I thought they went in the playoffs and beat the Saints.
What? I don't remember if they got a win.
I'm pretty sure they won. That was the year with what's his face?
That was the year of hold my dick.
Yeah, with Marshawn Lynch, his beast mode run. So, hey, we'll see. So, with that being said, we're close to kickoff here. So if you enjoy this content, good start, flag on Seattle. I didn't even realize this game was already starting. So let's go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be live possibly on Wednesday. So tune in then. We'll give you all the updated report on that game. So thank you and have a great night, guys. See ya.
See ya, guys.
Dunlap has changed.